Good morning, everybody. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm on a piece of private land today. 35 degrees, supposed to warm up fairly quickly. So I will be focusing on areas that are open like this, that have good browsing on them. Whew, that feels really good. Well, after dropping that silk, y'all seen it drop straight down, which is perfect in my opinion. I was just basically nestled up in a little thicket area, and I had a nice decent shooting lane. Then I felt the wind pick up, and it appeared to have changed direction, so I dropped a little bit more silk. It was about an hour later when I've noticed this, and sure enough, the silk was going straight into my shooting lane. So we're going to call it done here and not waste any time. Go get some stuff done, and hopefully be able to come back out this evening. Not here. Got another place in mind. Well, after the morning hunt, we went ahead, did some grocery shopping, ran some errands, and now it's about 2:30. I'm on a piece of public land. Let's get to it. This location is one of those locations where you wish you could get here early morning. I wanted to come here early this morning, but the wind was not on my side. All I gotta do is get in here, follow the creek up. Hey, my little walkway's still here that I pushed down. That's good. Well, I followed the creek all the way up. Definitely dried out. I made it in without bumping anything. Well, I went ahead and backed on out. Moving around the property, the wind was steady, so it was perfect. So I was able to pretty much cover at least half the property before I ran out of time. I was slowly coming up on, I think it was 4 does. I'm assuming 4 does. And I stayed for a second where I was at to see if they made it toward me, but by that time it was getting too dark for me to even do anything. But I wouldn't say I'm ashamed of going home empty-handed, because sitting there 4 hours, even with spray on and cover, I got eaten up. These mosquitoes need to go. I figured this 35-degree weather this morning would have pushed them off or killed them or whatever mosquitoes do for the winter. Nope, came right back as soon as that 70 degrees hit. Well, let's head on home.
What are you still doing up? Look at this mess. What were y'all doing? Eating supper? And cookies?
I don't know where Chelsea is. Bang!
She's outside.
Well, I've spent some time with the family. I watched a movie with the kids, E.T. Oh man, when was the last time y'all watched that movie? Oh, Chelsea and I got kind of curious, and holy, look at this real quick. I've never seen this bug before. That's kind of weird. If y'all know what kind of bug that is, just let me know. But anyways, yeah, Chelsea and I got curious and looked at when E.T. came out, because I was like, I'm pretty sure I watched a movie when I was Bud's age, and he's 7 years old. And found out it came out in 1982. Oh, but no, back to the hunting. Today was one of those days I yesterday I put in my vacation day for today, so I wasn't working. And I really wanted to try to take advantage of the bitter cold morning to a spike of a warm, midday. I seen some action, like I told y'all, but I ran out of time. But the main thing that I'm kind of frustrated on about this year is these dang mosquitoes, man. You all have heard me complain about them. I've never in the 17 years that I've hunted, never came across mosquitoes this bad. This is ridiculous. I mean, they're going through clothes, they're going through spray. I mean, I might as well just pack up and move to freaking Bayou if it's going to be this bad. Hopefully this is the only year that they're this bad. I don't know if it's the hurricanes pushing them up or what. I mean, we've had some rain, but we haven't had the amount of rain that we normally get. So it wouldn't make any sense for, I mean, I guess it would. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. But they've been a pain in my rear end. Sitting there for 4 hours motionless. I'm pretty sure I got 20 bites all over my face, bites all over my hands. They were doing their best to try to go through my freaking bibs, which is ridiculous. Sitting there wearing a freaking duck quilted lined bibs and a freaking sweater when it's 70 degrees outside. That was not fun. But I was doing my best to sit there and wait it out and see what I can get. And, I saw some action. I was getting closer and closer to these does. I just ran out of time and couldn't get it. And at that point, you try to make a clean call of backing out and sneaking back out. That way you don't worry about bumping anything. There's a little mental game that I like playing with myself. That came off wrong. There is a challenge that I like doing every year, and that's trying to bump less and less deer or wild game, period. Last year I was down to 3 that I bumped, and this year, from what I've witnessed, only 1, and that was that doe that ran into me. But no, guys, I think it's time to bring out the boat. It is definitely time to bring out the boat. I have one more property that I prefer to go in by foot, but I try not to touch that piece of public land until late season. I mean, bitter cold, 7 degrees, sitting out there for 8 hours, it feels like. But now it's time to break out the boat. And one thing that I know that I haven't touched upon is about my jugs. The reason being is because for the past years, I've always set my jugs. I pull up my limb lines and I set my jugs along the river that I hunt, and then I just retrieve them, when I get done. But this year, since I'm fishing on the Cumberland and I'm hunting off the Percy Priest, I seem to have more success off the Cumberland, not only with more fish on my hook, but also less gear taken. I have yet to have anybody mess with my gear on the Cumberland. I don't know if it's because I've started camouflaging or because the people there aren't really where I'm at. They're really not targeting what I'm going after. So this year I'm trying to figure out everything to where I could be successful wherever I need to go for meat. So while I'm targeting catfish, I'm probably just going to set my jugs, reset my limb lines off the Cumberland, and I'll bait them on days that I know I don't have to go to work the next day. And then when I go to work and I know I'm able to hunt, I'll just take the boat with me and then hunt right after I get off of work. So that's basically what I got there, but I think it's time to break out the boat and start hitting some of these pieces of public land. We have rifle or gun season coming right around the corner, and this is where the deer really start getting pressured to staying around their bedding areas, at least over here in where I hunt. That's how it works out. So I'm able to bring in the boat, sneak in behind the bedding area early morning before the sun comes up. And more than likely, where I normally still hunt, this is around the time where I get more up in a tree. I just got to be very careful because I have like a 30-year-old tree stand, And I love this tree stand. It's never given me any problems. It's just really loud going up, so you have to be very careful. Just take your time going up so you're not as loud. And I won't upgrade. I've tried upgrading, but it's just, you know, I find all these comfortable seats and self-climbers and climbing sticks. I do have stationary stands, and I'm thinking about getting climbing sticks, but that's still up in the air. But when it comes to upgrading my self-climber, you know, people figured it out back then. You know, they're not quiet, but you don't have to worry about, you know, anything breaking or sliding off. So I like my 30-year-old self-climber. The only problem is now is it's in the middle of my private property behind the barn, and I need to go retrieve it without bumping anything and get it loaded up in the boat ready to go for my next run, which hopefully this time no fugitives escape, because my next destination of hunting is definitely around the area where the last fugitives escaped. Oh man. But guys, let's call it a night.